All right, writers, we are on step 4, revising. So what does revising actually mean? Well, first of all, we finished our rough draft. All right, this is a nice little draft here. We've got our introduction. We've got our conclusion at the end. We've got our 1, 2, 3 reason paragraphs. I decided not to do a counterclaim paragraph. That is okay. But that doesn't necessarily mean that our piece is done. We've got some issues here, and we're going to find them right now by revising. So what is revising exactly? First of all, the number one thing that you need to do when you revise is to reread. Okay, you've got to reread the whole thing. Don't just skim it. Go sentence by sentence. We're going to find some more ideas that we can add, elaborate. That means elaborate, adding more ideas. We're going to replace words or phrases that aren't in the right spot or just don't make sense where they are. And we're going to move sentences around. So that's where we get ARM from. Do you see that? A-R-M. That's the strategy of revising. We're going to ARM. Add ideas, replace words or phrases, or move sentences. So here we go. Let's reread. Littering at our school is really a problem. I've seen kids drop pencils and post-its on the floor and not pick them up or even notice that they dropped them. I think that's terrible. And other kids don't go over and pick it up. They just leave it there. At the end of the day, there is stuff all over the floor, under desks, and in hallways. So I've given the problem here. This is interesting though. I've seen kids drop pencils and post-it notes on the floor and not pick them up. And then it says right here, and other kids don't go over and pick them up. I think we don't need the second one since we've already said it before. Not pick them up or even notice that they dropped them. I think that's terrible. They just leave it there. Okay. It's actually they just leave them there because we're talking about pencils and post-its. At the end of the day, there's stuff all over the floor, under desks, and in hallways. You know what? I haven't stated my claim yet. I've stated a problem, but I haven't stated my claim. And my claim is why I believe that we need to clean up our school. Because in the introduction, you have to state your claim. Okay, so I added some things. I replaced some things. Let's move on. One reason why we need to clean up our school is because it is not sanitary. For example, when there's stuff on the floor, dust builds up around it. When wrappers are left out, bugs or other critters will have a reason to come in. Then kids come into the room and breathe in the dust. Another example is food. I'm supposed to be giving 2 examples here, but it looks like my food example somehow ended up over here when wrappers are left out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out and paste it behind the food example. That's moving. I was going to move that. So now I've got stuff on the floor and dust and kids coming in and breathing it go together. Food and wrappers are left out go together. So moving helped. Another reason, let's move on to the next paragraph. Another reason is that we have lots of visitors. How do we want our school to look for them? For example, we have new families come for tours. Let's put all the time here. So I just added. Can you imagine Mrs. Woodcock coming in with a brand new kindergartner and seeing wrappers all over your classroom floor? Also, we have special guests like volunteers and presenters come. What kind of image do we want them to have of our school? Notice that it's a double of there. So I'm going to take that out. Do we want them to tell other people that Indian Hill is a safe, clean place or a pigsty? That looks pretty good. Let's move on. Finally, if we don't practice cleaning up now, we won't learn to be responsible. The older you get, the more responsible you should get. What would happen if you never clean? You may end up becoming an adult with a family, and then what would happen if you never knew how to clean? You'd be living in a pigsty. That's a good point. The only thing is, I don't have any evidence for the older you get, the more responsible you should get. I'm going to add an example in there. For example, when you're older, you could get a cell phone, learn to drive, and even get a job. There, these are some examples now that shows how somebody can be responsible. And that makes it even stronger to think about if you never cleaned and you had all these other responsibilities. So I just added there. Let's check out the conclusion. We need to help keep our school cleaner, not just for us, but for everyone who comes into Indian Hills School. All right, there is our claim again. We restated our claim, and now let's solve the problem. I am going to try to pick up garbage now. Will you join me? That's a good way to end it, right? That's a call to action. So as you can see, when we revised, we added more ideas, we elaborated, we replaced words or phrases, and we moved sentences around. Okay? I have a feeling when you check your piece, you're going to find some things that you can add, replace, or change as well. Off you go, writers.